What's up guys, welcome back to another video. Yesterday I got a comment from Simo2312. Hey bro, just wanted to say amazing video. First of all, thanks for that, I appreciate it. And they said also I wanted to know, is diet really that important? Like, will it make a difference if I eat a burger and if I eat a steak? So today I'm gonna talk about that topic. How important is your diet? Can you get away with certain things? What's important? So first of all, to answer your question, a burger and a steak, I'm assuming you mean just the meat, but the only difference is gonna be that a burger will be more processed than a steak. But just because something is more processed does not mean it's gonna be worse for you. There's gonna be, or that it's gonna be unhealthy, because there's obviously processed things that are healthy, unprocessed things that are unhealthy, and all combinations of those things. It's just that ultra processed foods are oftentimes have lots of sugar added to them. They're just unhealthy. Think of like Oreos, Doritos, etc. Those are obviously going to be unhealthy and very processed, which is why people make that association. But eating processed red meat can be a bit worse than eating unprocessed red meat. So but in this context, it's not gonna make a huge difference, especially if we're talking about muscle growth. There's just pretty much just no difference, assuming the macros are the same. And if you did mean like an entire hamburger, there's vegetables on there which are fine. The bread is also fine. Not many nutrients though, but the entire burger would also still be fine. So those macronutrients are just gonna be the main thing if you're looking at muscle growth. How many carbs are in there, how much protein is in there. So assuming a burger and a steak have the same amount of fats and protein and carbs, that's just not going to make a difference at all. It can make a difference for health, obviously. One could have more calories than the other, especially if you have an entire hamburger or you have a lean steak or some combination of those things. But for muscle growth and if they have the same macros, not gonna make a difference. So next up, obviously, there's some nuance to this, as there always is. Micronutrients do still matter a lot, but usually you're not gonna notice a difference, especially in terms of muscle growth. If you eat a lot of, let's say, vitamin C or whatever, it's not like your gains are gonna suddenly increase by 20%, or if you eat some more zinc, your gains are gonna increase by 50%. That would obviously not make sense. They're small portions of what decide your total health, and obviously it's gonna matter. And some micronutrients actually show extra strength increases, which not a huge difference, of course, but omega-3s actually showed a positive increase in strength. So that's one of the most important micronutrients in general for your brain health, and lots of bodily functions, of course. So that's some context. Micronutrients do matter, but not that much. If you're looking at an individual micronutrient, that's not going to make a huge difference in strength, or in strength increase or muscle size or whatever. Something else you should be, some other way of thinking I recommend is to actually not do the traditional way of thinking where you think, let's say, McDonald's is bad, it's unhealthy. I would actually think about, let's say, McDonald's as the individual components of that meal. So when you're having a McDonald's meal, let's say you're having, for example, a Big Mac menu as a traditional meal. You should be looking at the individual components. So what a Big Mac meal has, it has a lot of calories. It has lots of fat. In general, there's not gonna be any nutrients in there pretty much, or at least very little of them. Lots of calories, and from that point on, when you have those components of a meal, you should be, or you can then take those components of the meal and apply them to a certain situation. So let's say someone's very underweight, actually, they're super skinny, they now have a meal that has the component of lots of calories. That can actually be a good thing if they're trying to gain fat, or if they're trying to eat some more food to gain some more fat. That could be a good thing for some people. And then for that same person, if they eat an entire crop of lettuce with almost no calories, that can actually be a bad thing, since they would be losing more fat, or they would drift towards a diet where they don't eat much, lose some more fat, which is not going to be what they want. So individual components can have different results. They can be positive, they can be negative, based on a person. But people just automatically assume that McDonald's is bad, which it still is, of course, but that it's unhealthy because it has lots of calories, whereas for some people, lots of calories can be a good thing. Next up, McDonald's does not have any, doesn't have many, if any, nutrients. So you have your Big Mac, bread, no nutrients. A little bit of red meat can have some nutrients, but it's not that much. Almost no vegetables, just fries and a sugary drink. Pretty much no micronutrients is what I mean with nutrients. Of course, there's going to be carbs, there's fats, there's some protein. That's all relatively okay, just way too much food, of course, or too many calories. But regarding micronutrients, there's not going to be any in them, which is also why a Big Mac meal would be unhealthy. But you should be considering the rest of your diet too, because your goal should be to get in all your micronutrients at the end of a day. So if you've already had 4 nutrient dense meals in a day, it's not necessarily going to be bad if you have a nutrient or a meal that doesn't have any nutrients, because you've obviously already had all your micronutrients for the day from those 4 healthy meals before that. So that's also something you should be considering. If you would eat, as I said, 4 healthy meals in a day, you're trying to eat a lot of food, which, for example, I have a high appetite, I burn a lot of calories, so I can get away with eating a meal that has lots of calories. That's pretty much all I eat anyways. And I already eat healthy. I eat lots of fruits, vegetables too, and all those things. So I can get away with a meal that has high calories and doesn't have many micronutrients because of the things I just explained. So that's also something you should consider. Obviously, there's still, I'm not saying you should be eating McDonald's. Most people will tend to consume more calories at the end of the day if they consume McDonald's, which obviously makes sense. There's lots of calories in the food. So it's not recommended if you're not trying to eat a lot of calories, of course, or if you haven't had any nutrients yet. So those are some things to consider. That's pretty much the answer to the questions on if you can get away with eating McDonald's or whatever. Also, the entire mentality on if it fits your macros, you should be eating it. If it has protein, I can just eat it. I'm trying to gain muscle. That's also completely outdated. There's lots of nuance going into it. Micronutrients also matter. And just a single food or a single thing can also still be unhealthy, of course. If you would have a hamburger with, just an insane example, if you have a hamburger with poison in it, that's gonna be unhealthy. You can't just say it's okay because it has some protein. Individual foods can still be unhealthy, and also definitely unhealthy. There's some things that are unhealthy for pretty much everyone. So yeah, don't get me wrong, McDonald's food can still be unhealthy, as I just said, outside of the components part, which I discussed this video. That's pretty much it for this video. Let me know if you have any questions you want me to discuss in the next video. I'll probably make a video on it, as you saw today with Simo. Yeah, like, subscribe if you want to. and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.